Alright, yo, what's up, y'all? This is BoxingWave. Now, I'm going to do another video similar to the one I did a couple of weeks ago. A couple of weeks back, I did a top 10 most deserving opponents for Floyd Mayweather, okay? Because we're getting into that point where we'll start discussing the Floyd Mayweather sweepstakes. Pacquiao just beat Algieri last night, and everyone's going to start talking on who should be Floyd's next opponent should be, okay? We all know who number one is. Manny Pacquiao was number one on that list. And we all know Manny Pacquiao. This time I'm doing a Manny Pacquiao list, okay? So basically the way I do this list is I got 10 fighters. I'm going to start from 10 going all the way up to number one. And basically I'm going to say who are the most deserving opponents, okay? And when I say deserving, this is not a fan favorite type of list that I made. This is not my personal, I want to see this fight list. This fight is based on who's the current champions, okay, who are the top contenders in the welterweight division, because Pacquiao, even though he just fought at a catchweight against Algieri, he is still a champion at 147. Okay, so who are the champions, who are the number one contenders, who are the fighters that people want to see Pacquiao fight? I mean, the fans, like, you know, fans, feedback that I've got from people, myself, people, you know, comments that I see in my videos and other videos, and just general talk. All right, who are the people that's been calling out Manny Pacquiao? Okay, who does he have bad blood with? These are all people that I'm could consider on this list. Okay, it's some similarities there with Floyd's, but not exactly, because Floyd has titles at 154. Okay, and he's been challenged by people at like 160, like Gennady Golovkin is a guy who's undefeated that's called out Floyd, that some people feel like they would want to see that fight. I've heard a lot of people say, why don't Floyd fight Gennady Golovkin? That's why I put Golovkin on that list. You know, I put Cotto on that list because even though he's at 160, technically he has a great chance of fighting Floyd because they had a good fight in the first fight, and Floyd would get a chance to get a title at 160. And, you know, this is just possible for that as far as negotiations. And, you know, I named fighters at 154, fighters at 147. Here, not really dipping too much into the fighters at 154 or 160 for Manny Pacquiao, because Manny Pacquiao's not fighting anyone at 160, and most likely isn't going to fight anyone at 154. Okay, I didn't put Miguel Cotto on this list because Miguel Cotto would be a likely opponent again for Manny Pacquiao, but the thing is, Cotto is now being trained by Freddie Roach, so that's not going to happen. Okay, I didn't put Mikey Garcia because Mikey Garcia's name, even though his name has come up, it hasn't been recently because Mikey Garcia hasn't fought in a long time. All right, he's you know, he was going through litigations with Bob Arum, so I didn't put him on the list neither. All right, so basically it's a most deserving fight, and I'm gonna start at number 10. All right. So number 10, I have Marcos Maidana. I have him all the way at number 10. The reason why he's at the bottom is because he's coming off of 2 back-to-back losses to Floyd Mayweather. Not that it's a big deal, because Pacquiao has fought guys that were coming off of losses to Floyd Mayweather in the past. So it's not a real bad thing. But I feel like this is a fight that people want to see. I see good feedback. I see a lot of people say that they want to see this fight. I know I want to see this fight. I think this would be a great fight. To see Marcos Maidana go in there, I think it would be a slugfest. You know, these guys would definitely go to war, and it would be a great fight because, you know, there's some bad blood between the two training camps. Okay, I think they would definitely be able to sell this fight. It's just that the only reason why he's at the bottom is because Maidana needs to come back, fight someone, you know, gets people confident that he could beat Manny Pacquiao. Right? I think he would need to take one fight, but you never know. You know, if the Floyd fight doesn't happen, you never know. It's open season to anyone if the Floyd fight doesn't happen. We see that Algieri just got a shot at Manny Pacquiao, right? So Marcos Maidana, I have him at number 10. Number 9, I have Amir Khan. Okay, I have him over Marcos Maidana because he's not coming off of losses, okay? But the reason why I have him so low is because he has to fight Devin Alexander, and we got to see the outcome of that. So there's no promising that fight might happen because Amir Khan can lose his very next fight. A lot of people think that Devin Alexander has a great chance of winning that fight. Okay, I actually think it's like a 50-50 type fight. So I have him there because there's been a lot of words exchanged too. There's some bad blood there, okay? Because Amir Khan used to train under Freddie Roach. These guys said that they sparred together. Freddie Roach is saying that, you know, Pacquiao destroyed him in sparring. And Amir Khan has been calling Pacquiao out, included Floyd Mayweather for a while. So I think he definitely belongs on the list, and I put him like one guy ahead of Marcos Maidana. All right, so the next guy I have here at number 8, I have Canelo Alvarez. His name has come up in the past too. Within the past year, Canelo Alvarez's name has come up. Now Canelo is back over. Now Canelo's over at HBO. He went over there with Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya is doing business and has a good relationship now with Bob Arum. So the fight is definitely possible. Okay, 2 pay-per-view stars. All right, 2. I feel like the top 5 names, the top big names in boxing today are Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Miguel Cotto, Canelo Alvarez, and Vladimir Klitschko. Those are the top 5 most, as far as popularity, okay, as far as big names, getting big fights, big paydays for opponents. Those are the top 5 names. And Canelo Alvarez, Manny Pacquiao, that would be a big pay-per-view. I don't know. I don't think it will do as much as 2 million, but I think they would definitely crack 1 million with that fight. They can definitely sell that fight. The only reason why I have this so low at number 8 is because Canelo is a 154-pound fighter. Okay, I think that they could work that fight out anyway, but you know, I don't know what the catch weight would be. It probably wouldn't really be a catch weight because Canelo really can't even make 154 anymore. Okay, he's been fighting at catch weights like the last 2 fights. All right, but I believe he fought, what did he fight Floyd at? 152, 153, 152. But anyway, you know, Canelo just doesn't have it in him to lose that kind of weight. You know, he's getting older, he's getting bigger, and I'm sure he'll be fighting at 160. But I had to throw it on the list because that is a fight that people would love to see. Okay, that would be a good fight. You know, I would definitely pay for that fight. Okay, now number 7, I have Terrence Bud Crawford. All right, I put him there because he is starting to become a young boxing superstar, okay, in the making. We saw him beat Gamboa. Gamboa was undefeated. Okay, Ricky Burns. He's fighting Ray Beltran soon. He's planning on moving up. He's already fought Breeders Prescott, and he shut him out at 140 already. Okay, so he's planning on moving up anyway, and I wouldn't be surprised if Terrence Crawford will be fighting. I won't be surprised if he's fighting at 147 in a couple of years. Okay, so I think the fight would definitely it's definitely possible because they're both at top rank, and we know how Bob Arum likes to keep his fights in house. So that fight is very possible in my opinion. I already heard them talk about it, just like the Mikey Garcia fight. But Terrence Crawford is more active, and he's kind of taken away some of Mikey Garcia's shine because of his recent fights. So I think the Terrence Crawford fight is definitely possible. Okay, most of these guys are not even, you know, a couple of these last guys are not welterweights. I know Terrence Crawford is not a welterweight, but the reason why I put him on this list is because it's possible. It's possible, and it's a fight that fans would like to see. Okay, I think he's done more. I think he's proven himself a bit more than Chris Algieri. Okay, and I think this fight is possible. Not yet, but it is possible. Maybe as early as later in the year, next year. Okay. Okay. Now we get into the more real fights that are very, very possible. Okay, or guys that really deserves a shot at Manny Pacquiao. Tim Bradley. All right, we know he lost. Okay, we're at number 10, 8, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We're at number 6 now. Tim Bradley. All right, he's at number 6. He's our number 6 guy. We lost. You know, he won the first fight with Pacquiao. Very controversial. He lost the second fight with Pacquiao. Okay, but it still was a good fight. I thought Pacquiao won pretty decisive, but it was still a close fight. It was still a competitive fight. All right, Tim Bradley is only lost to one guy, and that is Manny Pacquiao. You know, if the Floyd Mayweather fight doesn't happen, I wouldn't be surprised if we seen Manny Pacquiao, Tim Bradley 3. I'm pretty sure at some point before Pacquiao retires, there will be a third fight. especially if they can't get other fights that they want. Okay, so Tim Bradley will always be deserving of any top fight in the welterweight division with all of the guys that he's beat, both at 140 and 147. All right, he only has one loss, and that loss is to a guy that he already previously beat. So we're definitely gonna have a third fight at some point. Okay, I don't really want to see it right now. All right, I really wouldn't want to see it for another couple years or so, depending on how Bradley keeps winning, Pacquiao keeps winning. Then maybe they could meet sometime in the future, but he definitely got to be on this list, all right, because he's beaten Pacquiao recently, and he still only lost to Manny Pacquiao, all right? He has a fight coming up against Diego Chavez, a fight that he should be able to win, okay? And you got Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman, I have him on the list because he's an undefeated. He's one of the 3 undefeated welterweights, top 10 welterweights in the division. Okay, he's not a mandatory for Manny Pacquiao. He's a mandatory for Floyd, but he's not. He's still a top 10 fighter. All right, and he's undefeated. And I can't wait for one of these guys to give him a title shot. He deserves a title shot at this point. Okay, I doubt it'll be Manny Pacquiao, but he is on the list. Not because a lot of people are asking for the fight. Okay, there are people that want to see the fight for sure, but it's not the highest, craziest demand for this particular fight. Okay, but I have to have him on the list because he's definitely worthy opponent for Floyd, Manny, Kell Brook, the champions at 147. Okay, I think he's definitely a worthy opponent, and I have to put him at number 5. Okay, ahead of Tim Bradley, only because Tim Bradley is coming off a loss. Keith Thurman's still undefeated, so I had to slightly put Keith Thurman ahead of him. But Tim Bradley just needs to bounce back, and then we good. Tim Bradley will probably be back in the top 3. All right. So then now we got Danny Garcia. I put Danny Garcia because his name is always constantly being brought up now, more than a lot of these guys I just named. Okay, Danny Garcia's name come up almost as much as Floyd. I mean, not as much as Floyd, but he's one of the names that's coming up the most that I see on a regular basis. Danny Garcia. Okay, Danny Garcia is with Oscar as well. He is an Al Haymon fighter, but I believe Danny Garcia is actually under contract with Golden Boy. Okay, the fight has been spoken about by the promoters of both parties. Okay, I think there's even a recent article about Al Haymon allowing this fight to happen as well. So the fight is very possible. Okay, Danny Garcia is undefeated. He is the champion, the lineal champ at 140, and he's going to be moving up to 147 pretty soon. All right, so that fight would make a good fight. I think that would be it's a worthy. Danny Garcia is worthy of Floyd fight, Pacquiao fight, in my opinion. Okay, he does have some little bit of star. He hasn't done pay-per-view yet, but he's been up until this year. This year has been a bad year for him because the Mauricio Herrera fight was a fight that most people thought he lost, and then the other fight, he should have never even been in the ring with that other guy. All right. So people love this fight, and it always comes up. So I have him at number 4. Number 3, Juan Manuel Marquez. He is the mandatory for the WBO title, the title that Manny Pacquiao holds. So it just makes sense. He knocked Pacquiao out their last fight, and that fight is always going to be a possible deserving fight. Okay. But I have him at number 3 because Marquez himself doesn't have any interest of fighting Pacquiao. But if you wanted to, I'm sure the fight would be made like this. They're both top rank and they're both rivals, and I'm sure they'll consider making that fight. Number 2, I have Kell Brook. Okay, I have him so high because he's the other champion at 147. All right. There's not much of a demand for the fight, though. I never hear people talk about it, but he deserves a fight. I think the champions belong at the top when it comes to who deserves a fight, who should be fighting. I would like the titles to be unified at 147. That's why I have him at number 2. And number 1, it's obvious, Floyd Mayweather. There's no explanation. I don't need to explain why Floyd deserves a fight because they both deserve each other. They both need each other, I think, for their careers as far as their legacy. All right, and I have them at number 1. Okay, so hopefully that fight happens, and that's it. All right, so let me know what you guys think. Flip them around. All right, take some fighters off, add some fighters, change the order. make suggestions. But hit me up, leave comments, and make sure you subscribe. Peace.